What's going on, gardeners? On today's 2-minute garden tip, I'm going to show you 3 sources of free mulch for you to use around your yard and garden. The first source of free mulch are leftover disease and pest-free plants that you no longer need in your garden. Earlier in the year, my sweet potato plants were taking over my entire garden, sending vines everywhere. So I pruned off all of the vines and I let them sit out on my weed barrier to bake in the sun to kill the roots, and then I repurposed them as mulch along the rear of my property where I was having some weed penetration. I've also had great success using chopped up old corn stalks I pulled out of my garden as mulch around my fruit trees. So any kind of old plants that are free of pests and disease that you no longer need in your garden, when you pull them out, chop them and drop them as mulch because it's free and you don't want to waste it. A second source of free mulch is anytime you prune your fruit trees, save all of the prunings, chop them and drop them at the base of the fruit trees as long as they appear pest and disease free. I just got done pruning my Meyer lemon, and underneath it I have all of the old cuttings that I chopped up into small pieces, and they will all be used as a mulch for the fruit trees. I do the same thing every single year with my avocado tree, which has a thick mat of avocado cuttings that constantly decompose underneath the tree. My banana trees are littered with chopped up old pseudostems and chopped up old leaves that I never throw away, and I always make sure to repurpose as mulch. I do this with all of my fruit trees, so anytime you prune them seasonally, make sure that you chop up all the old cuttings and drop them along the bases of the fruit trees. They make fantastic, completely free mulch. And the third source of free mulch are things like weed-free, seed-free grass clippings from your lawn, leaves that fall off the trees, and pine needles that fall off the trees. My pine needles are starting to go through the annual drop phase right now, so I always make sure to go around and rake up those pine needles and use them as a free source of excellent mulch around my fruit trees. They're not acidic, they are neutral, so they make a fantastic all-purpose pH neutral mulch for pretty much everything in your yard and garden. These 3 free sources of mulch can add organic matter to your soil and naturally suppress weeds without costing you a dime. And that's today's 2-minute garden tip. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated.